What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is episode number 91. We start today's episode off with our third choice goalkeeper coming to us and saying that he was hoping to play in this game against St Etienne away from home in the Champions League, as he'd been in pretty good form lately and he wanted to keep the run going. And I was like, what? You haven't played a single game for us? Ever. We promoted you last year to our team. You haven't played for us once. I think you may have been selected for some friendlies which got simulated, but you've never once played a competitive game for us. Why would you be making your debut in this Champions League game? And why would you say you've been in a pretty good run of form lately? What is that about? But of course he wouldn't play in this game. Ruben Blanco would start in goal. No real surprise. I can't see why he'd want to start. But even so, we did take on St Etienne for the first game of today's episode here in the Champions League group stage. And of course we won the first group stage game away at the Allianz Arena against Bayern Munich. What an incredible result that was. Without doubt one of the best of the series. And coming into this game, I felt as though it would be just as difficult. But to be honest, we did have the first chance as well. Rodriguez going close, but the shot being well saved by the goalkeeper. And of course, in that game against Bayern Munich, I did mention we deserved to win it. It was quite difficult here and there, but we did deserve to win it. And in this game, we did have a very fast start. First that Rodriguez attempt, and then from the follow-up, the clearance wasn't really dealt with, and then Torres' follow-up shot was saved by the goalkeeper, and it was still 0-0. And it was, mainly because we came out of the blocks flying in this game, just like we did against Bayern Munich. We didn't sit back and get a feel for the game. We just went straight for it, right from the beginning. Urgency, that's what we showed against Bayern Munich. That's why we won the game. And in this game against St Etienne, I wasn't surprised to see us take the lead either. Alvaro Morata, who scored against Bayern Munich, does score against St Etienne as well. Slides the ball underneath Ruffier, who I think probably should have saved it, to be honest. And he does make it 1-0 to Racing Santander. So Alvaro Morata with the goal. And it's the urgency we're showing right now, the confidence we have matched with the urgency. No just, pass the ball around, get a feel for the game early on. Just, going out of the blocks flying straight from the beginning. That's what's helping right now. That's what's paying dividends. That fast style of play with, not exactly a slow tempo build-up, just going for goal straight away. But St Etienne did go pretty close there. That shot going just wide of the post. And in the 33rd minute here, from that goal kick, we pass out from the back as per usual. And Ranieri Aguza finds Elise. Elise keeps hold of the ball and gives it backwards towards Ranieri Aguza. Plays a good ball out wide towards Moy Gomez. Great chance to make it 2-0 here as he crosses the ball in towards Morata, and with a free header 8 yards out, he should have at least hit the target. That is a big miss by Morata, who did score our first goal, and it is still 1-0. And on the stroke of half time, St Etienne come forward here, and Ruben Blanco doesn't need to make the save, but he was at full stretch there as the shot goes just wide the post and behind for a goal kick. And in the second half, to be honest, nothing really happened. We were still 1-0 up, and St Etienne weren't really in the game at all. And in the 71st minute, Rano Delgado off the bench almost makes it 2-0. Ruffier makes a good save though as St Etienne cleared the ball away. And in the 82nd minute, it was still 1-0 to Racing Santander. St Etienne still hadn't really done anything in this second half, and Rodriguez hits the post from a free kick before St Etienne clear. So still 1-0, and the French side, to be honest, they did have a couple of chances in the first half, but other than that were very subpar. It was still 1-0, and with 6.5 minutes to go, they did have one of their best chances here. Perrine's header going wide of Ruben Blanco's post and behind for a goal kick, but it was how the game would finish. St Etienne 0, Racing Santander 1. And that is now 2 wins out of 2 games away from home in the Champions League. And as you can see as well, Bayern Munich actually lost to Anderlecht away in Belgium. So after 2 games in the Champions League, Anderlecht and Racing Santander are first and second with 6 points each. And Bayern Munich and St Etienne both have 0. So what an incredible start to this Champions League group. Who would have predicted this? I would have thought that Bayern Munich would have probably beaten us at away from home at the Allianz Arena. Instead we beat them. I thought we could have got a draw against St Etienne away from home, but a win was probably a bit unlikely, yet we won that game as well. What an incredible start to this Champions League group, and Bayern Munich was 0 points after those 2 games against Anderlecht and Racing Santander. That is a massive surprise, but still, we take on Rayo Vallecano for the second game of today's episode here as they travel to take us on here at El Sardinero. And of course, that win against St Etienne was massive for us, but we couldn't just rest on that. We had to go out and get the win in this game against Vallecano because the Champions League League is of course going to be a massive aim for us this season, but in the league as well we do need to make sure that we do finish in the top 4 for a second successive season, and these games at home are the games which, you know, we probably should win, to be fair, but we still need to go out and do it. And the first chance did fall to us. Morata's shot was saved by the goalkeeper, and in the 34th minute he goes close again, but the goalkeeper again makes another good save. So still 0-0 in this game. From the corner it's crossed in, Portu goes for the header, it's cleared away, Aguza takes a touch and shoots and puts it just wide the post and behind for a goal kick. And during that passage of play as well, Paco Candela did get an injury, and you'll see that I think at the end of the episode or possibly in the start of the next one, but even so it was still 0-0. And in the 45th minute Aguza plays a good ball forward here towards Morata, but Morata's header goes wide, to another good chance for our striker there, but it was still 0-0 as we go into the second half. And to be honest, in this game it was all Racing Santander, as you would expect. We had chance after chance after chance, but we just couldn't hit the back of the net, and it was still 0-0. And in the 66th minute Rayo Vallecano had one of their first chances of the game, with Kakuta taking the ball around Pedro Obiang. He gives it backwards towards his man, eventually it's played out wide, and as Ramiro plays the ball inside here, we fail to get it away. Bayona's strike goes past Ruben Blanco, and Rayo Vallecano take a shock lead here at El Sardinero, and the frustration on my face playing this video game was just incredible, because I just couldn't believe this. You know, for the entire game we'd have attempt after attempt after attempt. Vallecano take pretty much their first of the game and they score it as well, and it just seemed like it was going to be one of those games where the FIFA gods are against you, and despite how well you think you've played, you're just not going to get anything from the game. And Morata goes closer in the 70th minute, again the goalkeeper makes the save, and then Portu's strike goes over, so we had chance after chance, but it was still 1-0 to the away side. They were still holding on to this shock lead, and in the 74th minute we played the ball forward towards Morata. He reverse step overs around his man, tries to play it through, gets it back, goes through one-on-one, and somehow Morata, who's had an incredible start to his Racing Santander career, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, 10 yards out, puts the ball off target. Any other day, any other game, that ball goes in with ease, but in this game, of course, nothing was going right for us, and it was still 1-0 to the away side. And if things weren't going right for us then, if we were still feeling as though it wasn't just bad luck and we just weren't doing enough, well, how about this in the 78th minute? First Torres' strike is well saved by the goalkeeper, then Delgado hits the bar, then Rodriguez turns it in, but the linesman has his flag up for offside. And when I watched it back, I was like, how is Rodriguez offside? Because there was a man on the far side that was clearly playing him on, so that goal should have stood. As you can see, the man who clears the ball away there is playing him onside, but it's because he's behind the goalkeeper, and that's why Rodriguez is ruled out for offside. So it's the correct decision. It's an odd one. It doesn't actually happen that much. I can only think of one example in real life where I've seen that before. That was Mexico and South Africa back in 2010, but of course it was the correct decision, so it was still 1-0. Then Obiang goes close and the goalkeeper makes the save, and it's still 1-0. So in this game the bad luck was incredible. Nothing was going our way at all. It was so frustrating. Despite us completely dominating this game, we were still 1-0 down, and with 3 minutes to go with Rayo Vallecano still leading, I brought on Perez, and finally, after so many attempts, we get ourselves a goal. Ayoza Perez cuts inside, Vallecano gave the ball away. It was so shocking because they just kept on passing the ball short in this game. We kept on making interceptions. We had so many attempts, but we just couldn't score. And finally, after I brought on Ayoza Perez, he does get the goal and makes it Racing Santander 1, Rayo Vallecano 1. So a disallowed goal, the ball hitting the woodwork, so many attempts. We just couldn't get ourselves the goal in this game, but finally we had the equaliser through Perez, and from the kickoff, Rayo Vallecano give the ball away. Perez storms forward, smashes the ball in, makes it 2-1, and what an unbelievable finish to the game. This guy, Ayoza Perez, comes off the bench, scores 2 goals in a matter of moments, and turns the game on its head. Racing Santander 2, Rayo Vallecano 1, and thank goodness for that, because this was one of the most frustrating games I've ever played in this series. But finally we come good and are going to get the 3 points, and deservedly so as well. Had we lost this game, I don't know what I would have done, because we were so much better than Rayo Vallecano. We just weren't getting the luck. My finishing admittedly was pretty poor for quite a few attempts, but we definitely deserved to win this game, no doubt about it. And a quick fire double by Ayoza Perez is going to see us grab the 3 points. So absolutely delighted about that. And it was such a shocking game, because it was one of those where you genuinely believe. Now, I mean, I don't believe in scripting. I don't believe in scripting at all. I know some people do, but I don't. But it was one of those games where playing it, I just felt, I'm sure that EA are doing something here, because how on earth have we not won this game or even scored a goal, you know, coming into the final 5 minutes? It was just absurd. But finally we had those 2 goals, and I know know I don't need to show the sliders, but I guess because I scored 2 goals in quick succession, people might have questioned the validity of it. But yeah, we did grab ourselves the 2 goals, 3 Perez coming off the bench, and thank goodness for that. It was so frustrating. And again, I don't believe in scripting or anything like that, but you know, it's just one of those games where you felt as though EA were conspiring against you basically. But it was 2-1 to Racing Santander, and from the kickoff, Forever Lecano come forward, but they give the ball away. We go on the break here with Morata, but he does get tackled. We win it back with Grimaldo. It comes to Perez, the hero. He plays the ball through towards Delgado. He flicks it on towards Morata. Great chance for 3-1. Can he seal the game? Yes, he can. Sorry, no, he can't because it's the post, but then Rodriguez turns it in, and then he scores the goal. That's what I meant to say. Rodriguez drills in the cross, and Morata does score and makes it 3-1 to Racing Santander. So we hit the woodwork twice in this game. We had a hell of a lot of attempts. You would have seen the match stats a minute ago anyway, but we had so many attempts in this game. We thoroughly deserved the win. We had a disallowed goal. It was an unbelievable finish to the game. You know, it really was, to score these 3 goals so late on. We did come through with the win, and I'm just delighted about that, because you know how we lost the game, how we even drawn the game, I would have been just so frustrated, so annoyed. But we did come through with the win as the referee blows for full time there, and we do grab ourselves another 3 points. So delighted with that. It was annoying, it was frustrating, it was very frustrating indeed, but the win was the most important thing. An unbelievable finish, but we got the job done eventually. But that is going to end the episode. So as always guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed the episode. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Club and Country, then please do leave a like, it is much appreciated, and of course it really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Club and Country very soon.